Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to install some software that's pretty important for docking. So if you click the first link in the description, it's going to take you to Pymol's website. Now this website is what you will use to sign up for an educational use only build of Pymol and license. So if you fill out the information like, I am a student, teacher, your first name, last name, email address, etc., and hit continue, it will then send you an email shortly after that will have instructions on how to download Pymol. So what you'll do essentially is you will click the link in that email that they send you, and it will take you to this website. On this website, it will ask you to log in with a username and password provided in that same email. And once you do that, you should see something like this, a list of links. The first thing you want to do is download this license file, so click the license. And if it's been a while since you've logged in, maybe you browsed on the web before you came back to here, it may ask you to log in again before you click that. And then secondly, go ahead and go to Pymol's download page. From there, click on macOS DMG disk image. And I've already installed this, so I can just go to my downloads and I can click the Pymol DMG. So you're going to see this screen pop up that has Pymol and then an arrow to applications. Just go ahead and click and drag Pymol to your applications. Now if you look in your applications, you'll see it's starting to copy over. Alright, so once that is completed, you can click Pymol here, or you can search for it in in your command space. So you can go ahead and click Pymol, and it'll open up. Now, I have already licensed my version of Pymol, so I will not have to license this, however you will. So go ahead and hit open even though it's downloaded from the web. So what you will see on your screen is it'll say license required, hit browse for license, and then you can just go to your downloads, and in your downloads folder you'll have your license, and that's how you license Pymol. So, alrighty. Now we can move on to the next program. Alright, the next program we're going to download is MGL Tools, but before we can use MGL Tools, there is a prerequisite that we need. So if you click the next link in the description, we're going to download XQuartz. So as soon as you go to that link, there should be an option to download the DMG file. Once that's downloaded, which I've already done, go to your downloads. Click on XQuartz 2.7.11 DMG. Double click the package. Hit continue, 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 agree to the license, install. Go ahead and enter in your administrator password. Alright, during the installation you may see this message pop up that says installer wants to access control system events. Wants access to control system events, hit OK. Hit OK. And then hit close. You can go ahead and move the installer trash as well. Alrighty, now that we have downloaded XQuartz, we can move on to the next program, which is going to be MGL Tools. So, on this link in the description that you click next, you will see on the webpage several different links. What you're going to click is Snow Leopard macOS X 10.5 and 10.6, or whatever the latest version is they have updated Intel. So click that, and once that's done downloading, which I've previously installed, or downloaded, pardon, go to your downloads and click the DMG file. What it will do is verify certain things on there. Once that's done, double click on the PKG file. Now, what will likely happen is it will bring up an error message that says it cannot be opened because it's from an unidentified developer. What we're going to do is we're going to hit OK. We're going to go to our system preferences. We're going to go to security and privacy. And you will see a message at the bottom that has MGL Tools listed there that says was blocked from opening because it is not an identified developer. What we're going to do is we're going to click open anyways. It's going to make sure that we want to open it. Hit open. Now you can exit out of the security and privacy folder. and just go through. Hit continue, 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 agree, install. It will ask you for a password. And it will start writing all the files. Alrighty, once that is done, you can hit close, move to trash, and all this does is move this away so you don't have that installation folder in your downloads anymore. Now if we hit Finder at the bottom left and go to our applications, you should see a new app that says MGL Tools. Well, if you double click on that, it has a list of various tools. Go ahead and double click Autodock Tools, and as you can see, it opens up XQuartz as well. Without XQuartz, this will not work, just as a heads up. And there you go, Autodock Tools is successfully installed, and you can use it within this window. On to the next program, we're going to download Autodock Vina. Now, Autodock Vina is a script that is an extension of Autodock Tools. Essentially what it does is it performs docking based on the parameters set in Autodock. So, what we're going to do is click on the Mac OS X link right here to download the file. We can go ahead and minimize our browser. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click on our downloads, go ahead and drag and drop this file onto your desktop. Now double click it, and as you can see, it makes the second folder from there. You can go ahead and drop this tar file in your recycle bin or your trash. We don't need that anymore. We can change the name of this to Vina. Now you don't have to change the name of the folder, I just think it makes it a lot easier. So that's actually all the installation we need to do for Vina. However, I want to show you an extra step that basically just kind of walks you through how to use Vina's commands, because it's not very intuitive. So what we're going to do is hit Command Space. We're going to open up our terminal. We're going to type in CD desktop, and then we're going to type in CD Vina, and that changes our directory from our user to our desktop, which is this page, and then onto Vina, so we're in this folder. Now we have one more step. We're going to do CD bin. So now we are in the bin, which is right now almost empty, but later we'll have some more stuff in it. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in /Vina. And as you can see, if Vina is installed correctly, this should work. And you should see a bunch of different options in here, like missing receptor, correct usage, input, and things of that sort. And that basically lets you know that you can use it. So if you were to perform docking later, in order to use Vina, you would need to be able to type in just /Vina. And then whatever command you needed. The issue is that if you type in just Vina, it won't work. So you have to type in /Vina. Alrighty, so that actually concludes the installation of Vina. Alrighty, so the next thing we are going to download is going to be Python. So if you click the next link in the description and go hover over downloads on this page, you should see it should automatically detect that you're on OS X 10 or OS X, and that Python 3.7.2 is the latest version. So all you have to do is click on that and go ahead and click then on the Python file that got downloaded. Once it's done downloading, hit continue, 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 agree to the license, install. Once again, it'll ask you for a password. Alright, and once you see this pop up, you are good to go. Now the way to test and see, you can go ahead and close out of this and move this to trash. So the way to test and see if Python's installed correctly is go to your terminal. So once again, you hit Command Space to open up Spotlight, search terminal, and all we have to type in is type in Python. And as you can see, it says we have Python installed, so we are good to go. In addition to Python, we're actually going to install another extension of that in order to perform some important functions. So what we're going to do is, as before, hit Command Space, open up Terminal, and we're going to install pip. Now pip essentially will take different packages that are associated with Python and install them so you can use commands that other people have created or yourself. So what we're going to do is from our command prompt, we're going to type in sudo space easy install pip. Now it will ask you for a password. Go ahead and just type in your password. You will not see the password on the screen. Sometimes when you're on a website, you'll see stars occur when you type in. You won't see that here. So you are typing, it just won't show that you're typing on there. You just have to know your password. And then hit enter when you're done. Alrighty. And so we should be good. And in order to see that we've installed pip correctly, if we type in pip, see how it pops up a bunch of different options and commands that we can use. That is how we know that we have pip installed correctly. Lastly, we're going to install PDB Tools. Now, because we've installed pip, this can be done very easily using a couple commands in terminal. So like before, we hit command space and search up terminal. And from here, we're going to type in sudo pip install PDB-tools. Now you can type in your password. Once again, you won't be able to see what you're typing. Alrighty. So now you can see it has 100% installation successfully installed. So the way PDB Tools will work, and what I like to do, so let's say I make a new folder here and I use this as a PDB workspace. The way PDB Tools will work is you can use their commands from any directory, but it will put that file in the directory you're currently working in. So I like to change my directory to my desktop. So right now we're in this folder. So I can use this to fetch a PDB file. So I can do PDB_fetch. Let's say I do 4PRG, that's a PPAR gamma PDB file. And then we're gonna hit this sign right here, the greater than sign, and what you want to name it as. So you can name it as 4PRG.pdb, or you can name it as, let's say, PPAR, because that happens to be the name of the protein. And once you hit enter, if you go into that file, you will see the new PDB. I will link a list of useful commands that are part of PDB Tools, and you can look through them. If you have questions or you want to see anything, just leave comments down below. Thank you.